Greetings, friends and fellow aliens, and thank you for tuning into this video where I would like to talk about running. Not running, but running. Things that you might be running from, things that you might be running to, and kind of wrap this up in and color it in terms of something that I'm currently writing. And in particular, how as an author, we often put a lot of our own thoughts and feelings and everything into our characters and into our work. Look, if you want to get to know a person and that person happens to be an author, you read their books. That's how it works, because I guarantee you, even if they're writing a character that's some kind of weird, like space vampire or something or other, I got to remember that because that's actually pretty good. There is an element of that author and that author's psyche within that character. Whether we say we do it or don't do it, whether we want to admit that we do it or don't do it, we absolutely put ourselves into characters. And sometimes it can be pretty revealing. So I'd like to show you something that I stumbled across when I was writing, of all things, Space Pew Pew. Okay, so here we go. You never think that you're writing something silly or you're trying to put something silly down like Space Pew Pew, and that it tells you a lot about yourself. But I just kind of came across something, and it was sort of a realization as I was writing this story that without even realizing it, I had put myself into essentially every single character that's like a primary character in the story. And it wasn't intentional. I don't find that like I identify with these characters to such a strong degree, but thematically, I absolutely do. And I was sitting here thinking about the characters, and I noticed something. And I'm going to bring up my website here, and there's one of them right there, one of my characters. But I'll scroll up and you can have a look here. Okay, so this is on my site under Space Pew Pew, Meet Your Crew right here. Okay, so this is the ST, which is called the Authortuber. That's the ship that they are traveling on. Oh, I love stupid jokes. And here's our main character for all intent and purposes, which is the captain, and his name is Alex Aurora. So Alex is kind of happy-go-lucky opportunist. Not a terrible guy, but not like a great guy. A good heart on him. And he's a general space smuggler. Think of like Han Solo, but like not as Han Solo as Han Solo is, if that makes any sense to you, because like that stands on its own as a legendary character. But in a very similar way, sort of a little bit of a swashbuckler type, at least fancies himself to be, but like doesn't quite get it right all the time. So perhaps a bit more of a failure. Like if Han Solo was a failure and you had a Han Solo wannabe, like this is kind of what Alex would, the sort of vibe that you get from him. And in the story, one of the main plot points is that Alex is trying to find home. He is searching. He has no idea where he comes from or anything like that, but he is, for all intent and purposes, chasing every lead to find what that home is. Where is home? Do I have family? Are there people that love me there? Are there people that I'm connected to in a place? Because he's just been drifting from system to system and trying to make his way and survive, and always trying to find the clues, but never really having that stroke of luck to find out where his home is. So Alex is running home. Let's just call it that. Alex is running home. The next one on my list is Toshiro. Toshiro is the companion. He is Alex's buddy. This book is a buddy movie, essentially. And Toshiro is an android. He's an artificial. And he doesn't know exactly what his purpose is. He knows his purpose is to help, and that's what he does. But anything deeper than that, he doesn't really have a connection to anything. So Toshiro, in a way, apart from being like a huge part of the comic relief in everything, because he's hysterical to write, one of my favorite characters that I've written, period. Toshiro doesn't know where to run, whereas Alex is running home. And he kind of has that feeling of like, am I going to be left behind as a result? Is everybody has a place, but I don't have a place. So Alex is running home and Toshiro doesn't know where to run, which brings us down to Andromeda, the love interest of Alex, and also kind of like a psychopath, like in a fun way. Definitely tests the whole crazy hot matrix and that theory with her. So Andromeda, she is running from something in this story, and something that is threatening her, the way she is and who she is. And so we're starting to get the themes here. And as I was writing it and just thinking about the story and trying to think about what was next and so on and so forth, these realizations came to me and I'm like, holy moly, I've been each of these characters in some way. And I'm going to keep going because it continues. And then it just like kind of felt creepy. So Alex is running home. Toshiro doesn't know where to run. Andromeda is running away. Which brings us to the commander, Boom Boom der Supernova. Yes, this book is humor and it's silly, but it's got a lot of heart to it, and that's kind of what I'm explaining here. Boom Boom is a space capybara. They have an entire civilization in this world, and they come from an entirely different system, a civilization with a structure and everything else. And Boom Boom's the type that, well, he loves violence more than anything else. He is a warlord, and he will run literally anywhere. So it doesn't matter where it is. He just wants to be able to, he is chaos incarnate, and he wants to create that chaos. It's what makes him happy, to be everywhere all at once, going anywhere, doing anything. He needs to be occupied at all given times, and he will go anywhere in order to fill that end. So to run down the list again, you've got Alex running home, you've got Toshiro not knowing where to run, you've got Andromeda running away, you've got Boom Boom running in every direction. We've all been there. And then finally, we have Leopold. Leopold is a mycelium-based life form. Yes, he is a mushroom-based life form. Here comes the dad pun. He's a fun guy. Okay, got it over with. And Leopold is deeply religious. Their own, like the mycelium-based religion that I have established in the work. And he is content to stay where he is. And it doesn't really matter where that is or who he's with. He is pretty much always at peace and takes every single moment as it comes. So he is the one that is simply content to not run to anything or away from anything, and focused enough not to go in any direction, and sure enough, faithful enough to believe that he is always exactly where he needs to be. And so I was looking at these characters and I'm thinking to myself, I've been each and every one of these. I have been the guy that's wanted to run home and wanted to find home and establish home. I've been the android, or the guy who didn't know where to run, but felt the urge to, and felt misplaced and a misfit and missing. I've been the person that's wanted to run away, certainly. I think a lot of us have had that feeling in one way or another. I've been the person that didn't care what was going on, just needed to run somewhere, in whatever direction, or in as many directions as is possible, maybe because I'm avoiding something, or maybe because, just like anything else, you want to create a little bit of chaos from time to time. And I have been that person that wanted to stay exactly where they were, and that didn't want to run anywhere, and had that moment of being content. And when I look at this, I'm not really sure which one I am right now. And that's what's really interesting about this. And it's like I said at the start, as authors, we pour ourselves into our characters in one way or another. And I didn't intend to have these characters work out this way, but I feel like this is something that gives characters in a story and gives us as human beings a lot of depth, and that we can relate to all of these different things. We've been all of these different people. We've had all of these different feelings or emotions. And for me, I write best when I'm pouring those elements of myself into those characters. So I'm curious, if you are an author or a writer, do you do these things too? Do you notice things about your characters after you write them? Do you write your characters with the intention to be similar to them or have your own, I don't know, personality quirks or traits in them? And do you have that deeper meaning or that deeper thematic element to your writing in terms of a through line? You know, and my through line here for this crew is running. And I feel like this is a really special book that I'm writing in a lot of ways. And yes, it's funny and it's humorous and it's all those different things, but Space Pew Pew is taking on this different kind of life of its own in terms of these characters and the way they're interacting. It's very character driven. And the one who is running towards something is always going to be challenged by the one running away from something. And the one running away from something is going to be challenged by somebody that is content to just stay put. And the one who doesn't know where to run is going to be baffled and swept away by the one who wants to run absolutely everywhere. So there's all sorts of fun dynamics that I'm playing with in here for these characters to really get readers to know them, to resonate with them, and at least in some way, each of them are a reflection of something deeper within ourselves. So I hope that doesn't sound too hoity-toity or whatever it is, but it's just something that came across in my head, and I thought, you know, this is kind of neat, and I wanted to explore it and talk about it a little bit, introduce you to some of the characters. And what you can do is go to that website, by the way, and just go over to About, or go to Socials rather, and right on here, go ahead and throw in your email address and let me update you on all things Space Pew Pew and Caretaker and whatever else I've got going on. I haven't sent any emails out yet to the list. I'm just building it back up because I lost my entire mailing list recently. So if you were getting emails from me, you are not now. Please sign up, connect, and all that. And while you're there, go ahead and find me on the other socials too, on Twitter, Rumble, Instagram, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Well, you're probably watching this on one or the other of those anyway. So there's that. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today on some Space Pew Pew, some characters, and what we put in. And I'm curious, what are you running to or running from? Or do you know where to run? Or are you just running everywhere? Or perhaps you're one of the lucky ones that's feeling content. Let me know. Throw something down in the comments, say hi and all that kind of stuff. I love interacting with you. I love seeing you down there. It is really nice to share this kind of stuff with you and have it resonate. So I appreciate you, and I will see you again very, very soon.